What's up, YouTube land? It's Candace Yvette here with Black Women in Wear. In a minute, I'm going to send a link. But before I got started on Neo, I wanted to talk about the Little Mermaid just for a quick minute. So I really don't be on TikTok like that, but lately I have been like binge watching TikTok. Okay, I have been binge watching TikTok, y'all. Hold on, let me put this quick little message in this chat room. Okay, but yeah, I've been binge watching TikTok, and I've been seeing all of this stuff about the Little Mermaid and the fact that Halle, I believe Halle Bailey. I always want to say Halle Berry for some reason, but Halle Bailey is playing the Little Mermaid. And I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm excited. I've been crying all day watching all these children of color, especially the little black girls, their reactions to it and everything. And it's been bittersweet. It's been amazing to see children look at a Disney movie that me and my little sisters enjoyed, but they're able to look at this Disney movie and see themselves in the character. Like, we weren't used to that growing up. If we seen any person of color or woman of color in any kind of cartoon or movie, it usually was she played like the side character. It was always like she played the side character. Like the best example I can give y'all off the top of my head is the Magic School Bus. Y'all remember the little black girl who played in the Magic School Bus? She played like a supporting character or supporting actress. That was her character. So the majority of the cartoons that I watched coming up was would mainly, like, the main character was a person of no color. So just to see all the reactions and to see just times changing like that, it's truly amazing, because like, I just watched one person's TikTok, and they were saying, like, had they left Ariel, like a woman of no color, us as black people, we wouldn't have flinched because we wouldn't have known the difference, because we're so used to not being represented in the main screen. And that's very true. That is very, very true. Like, I was sitting up there, and as I was watching all those little girls react to the trailer for Little Mermaid, which won't be out until 2023, May of 2023, I realized that I'm like, we watch people of color so much on TV that they really don't understand how much I don't know how to say this, but I, like, when I see a person of color on TV, like, it's the norm. You know what I mean? I don't flinch until I see a person of color on TV. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to talk to, mention that real quick, because I don't know if y'all seen the short that I shared with the little girls reacting to the Little Mermaid. I thought that was amazing. But anyways, let me send this link so we can get started on Neo. Let me see. It's been so long since I have sent a link. I hope I didn't forget how to do it. I don't think I did, though. I don't think I did. Maybe I should go this way. So yeah, I don't know if y'all heard the latest about Neo and his soon-to-be ex-wife. I wanted to discuss that with y'all tonight. This thing is not doing what I want it to do. There we go. So I'm gonna let y'all listen to a couple of the videos that I found on TikTok, and then I'm gonna give my commentary throughout. I don't plan on being live for too long because I do have to get up early tomorrow morning. Like, I made a commitment to get my behind back in the gym. Shout out to Patti LaBelle because her peach cobbler, that be up in Walmart, be the bomb. And I was highly addicted to Patti LaBelle's peach cobbler. I had to get that out my system. But yeah, let me find this video because I did want to do commentary on this. And I've been wanting to do commentary on Ne-Yo for a little while now, but I never quite got around to it. So this is to all. Okay, so let me look and find this video. And I swear by the moon and the stars in the sky. I'm sorry, y'all. That song has been stuck in my head all dang day. Let me see. Okay. Is this the video? I think this is the one. Gotta change my answering machine now that I'm alone. Cause right now it says that we can't come to the phone. I guess he's gonna have to change his answer machine, honey. Okay. Because his wife is done taking the Instagram and said that Ne-Yo is a Rolling Stone. Ain't it? He's been cheating for 8 years. Wow. Oh, yes, 8 years. So she said she done with the fuck shit. Crystal took the IG to say 8 years of lies and deception. 8 years of unknowingly sharing my life and my husband with numerous women who sell their body to him unprotected. Unprotected. Yes, wow. Unprotected. Every last one of them. To say I'm heartbroken and disgusted is an understatement. To ask me to stay and accept it is absolutely insane. The mentality of a narcissist. I will no longer lie to the public or pretend that this is something that it isn't. I choose me. I choose happiness and health and my respect. I gained 3 beautiful children out of this, but nothing else but wasted years and heartache. I ask that you all please stop sending me videos and information of him cheating because what he does is no longer my concern. I am not a victim. I am choosing to stand tall with my head held high. Okay. If someone can't love you the way you deserve to be loved, then it's up to you to love yourself. With no hate in my heart, I wish him nothing but the best. Child, now Ne-Yo and Crystal have broken up before, but they quickly reconciled, and they just renewed their vows a few months ago. Child, when Crystal said enough is enough, I'm tired of running the risk of getting yeast infections, BV, and all that stuff because you allegedly running around here having, unprotected. Good. Now, honey, Ne-Yo has taken to Twitter to ask for privacy. He said that personal matters aren't meant to be addressed and dissected in public forums. I simply ask that you respect my family and our privacy at this time. I don't know what Ne-Yo talking about because you can't ask for privacy when your wife done inserted us, but I digress. Now, the Temptations internet streets are hot, honey. They are wondering if Ne-Yo's going to be too proud to beg or is he going to get his wife back like he did last time. And also, the internet streets are abuzz with talks about Ne-Yo's previous marriage with Monyetta Shaw. Now, y'all know it's been alleged for a long time that Ne-Yo convinced Monyetta Shaw to have her tubes burnt because she didn't want to have no more kids. And she did it because she thought she was going to be with Ne-Yo forever. Me personally, I would have convinced his ass to get a vasectomy because we all know that these relationships aren't guaranteed and also a vasectomy can be reversed, but burnt tubes cannot. And baby, let's not forget that it's alleged. I'm going to pause right there real quick because y'all, I don't really know where to start with this Ne-Yo mess. So from what I've researched, when Ne-Yo was 19, he allegedly was in a marriage with a young lady who is unidentified, okay, and they ended up getting that marriage annulled or whatever, and he later came out and said he don't love nothing as much as he loves music, allegedly, okay? So when I read that, I felt like, why get married at all if your spouse will even come second to your career? You know what I mean? And then as I began to research like about Monyetta, because I realized Monyetta was on a reality show. I believe it's called Hollywood Exes. Like, I wasn't into reality shows back in the day. They all seemed scripted and made up. You know, I was over reality shows. I would say late '90s before they even started booming in the 2000s, y'all. Like back when Mad TV was just doing reality shows, I was over reality shows because they seemed boring and it just seemed over the top to me. But anywho, Mayetta was on the Hollywood Exes show or whatever, and I had heard about Neo and her problems like over the years, but I never really too much paid attention to it. Like I was pretty much in and out, focusing on other things that had to do with Black women, really. But I had always assumed that Mayetta had got a tubal ligation. I didn't think that she had got her fallopian tubes burned, y'all. I didn't think that she had done that. And so I was so surprised when I came back and I found out that she had got her fallopian tubes burnt, you know, and what is so heartbreaking is that you can't reverse that. You cannot reverse that. So, and then not only that, but Neo was supposed to get a vasectomy. And vasectomies you can reverse. Vasectomy is nothing but they just take the tubes that's down there in your private area region and they tie them up. Okay. I heard what's up, Sint? I heard like this one man I was talking to on social media because
Hey, girl.
what's up? So like
None.
even though like I know about the reversals because I did work with a doctor who did vasectomies, I don't really know. Well, I'm sorry, I know about the vasectomies. I don't really know a lot about the reversals. And so one man, a man of no color, was telling me about the reversals, and he said, yeah, they can get them reversed, but unlike the actual vasectomy, the reversal costs way more. It costs like he said anywhere between 40 and 50K to get it reversed. And men do have to go to the hospital for the reversal. But I thought it was so doggish because he didn't marry Mayetta, y'all. He didn't marry Mayetta. He was engaged to her. And like I guess like allegedly before they were set to tie the knot, he called things off. I'm gonna read what Mayetta said. Like this is crazy. Sid, have you heard about the drama with Neo?
Not this go round, but you know I love me some ratchet TV. So I saw the what was the show name that she was on?
Think Hollywood. Let me look it up. I think
I
it's
think
called
it's
Hollywood X.
Hollywood Exes or something like
Yeah, I'm gonna have
that.
to buy the old
Ooh,
episode.
they was letting it loose. They was putting all the business out. I think R. Kelly's ex was on there too.
What? Who? What's her doggone name? Drea.
Mm-hmm. Girl, they was tearing the club, or they was fighting and carrying on all types of stuff. But you know that's how you
Wasn't
learn about people.
wasn't Shaq's ex-wife on there?
No, cause she got basketball wise. She got her
Okay.
pastor now.
Yeah. What's up, Slim Duncan? I like your font, Slim. I can barely read it, but it is beautiful. But yes, girl, I did feel bad for Mayetta. Let me read y'all this article that I believe Mayetta was featured in because I really didn't know nothing about it, y'all. I was like in and out. So I was
You was sleeping on that Ratchet TV, girl.
Man,
You
I was
better jump
sleeping on
on it.
all that good tea. I was sleeping on it. And then to hear how he dogged her. And then Mayetta, from this article that I found about her, she said she was like her parents had been married for 44 years. So when he proposed, she literally put all her trust in this man that he was going to tie the knot and solidify the deal with her. And that's why she burnt and clipped her tubes and did all that. That broke my heart
Girl, why'd that break your heart?
because I feel so bad for her because she seems so much like a genuine person. Hold on, I'm finna read this article because I was like, man, she's married now. Mayetta is married to a man of no color. And like her wedding, they had her wedding on TikTok or whatever. Mayetta done leveled up, y'all. Like she was working out. They got videos of her working out. They got videos of her wedding and everything. She literally leveled up. I believe Ti went to her wedding. Ti and
Well, don't
Ty.
we all do that for the most part? We
Yeah, but
should.
don't it seem like I don't know, have you like do you know about the Kevin Hart drama?
With his ex-wife?
Yeah, don't it seem like they always let the good women go for the trophy, the so-called
You know what? I don't know. I can't honestly. I don't think it'd be like that. I know that's controversy. That's like that's not what everybody like. Oh, they let go. Man, when you that's the thing. When you have money, you
mm-hmm.
move differently. Opposed than when you don't, like when you don't have money, you work together because you ain't got it like that. But then when you come up into some money and you not used to having no money, you move differently. You may feel like you don't move differently, but you do, and it goes from both ends. Both parties have to be accountable. I know personally. I know personally, I got, as far as the situation with the vasectomy and all that, I got my tubes tied because I didn't want to have to go through that no more.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't want to get that. I didn't get to enjoy nothing about
you
none of my
got it done for
pregnancy.
you. You got it done for
Right.
you, right? Like she got
But
it done.
people be saying I got it done for him, blah 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 blah. At the end of the day, you have to be accountable for yourself. And people do be going through that mind stuff. At the end of the day, she have to sign that paper.
Yeah, but I still feel like she was manipulated in a way because I
She ain't
feel
want no
like,
more
oh,
kids.
listen. I'm finna read this. I'm finna read this from the New York Post. And from what I've watched with celebrities like Kanye West, Kanye West, for those of y'all who don't know, before Amber Rose and Kim Kardashian, like his first album, like right before his first, like I believe it was called College Dropout, when around the time that album dropped, like before, during, and after, like especially, I don't know, I think he was in a car accident where he had to have his jaw wired shut. He
Mm-hmm.
was dating a black woman, and then when he came into his success, he dropped her. And then not only that, but same thing happened like with this with Neo. And then it went on to happen with I forgot who I named earlier. But anyways, let me get into this article. So this was written by the New York Post. It says in 2011, Mayetta Shaw underwent, so her last name now is Carter. She's married. So Mayetta
Oh,
Shaw underwent a sterilization procedure, having decided with her then fiance, Grammy Award winning artist Neo, that their two children were enough. But 2 months before their wedding, he called it off. Just 2 months, y'all, 2 months before the wedding. And later started a new family with a new love, an option that Shaw now may never have. Okay? Crazy. Here, a 35-year-old Shreveport, Louisiana native and author of Bigger Than Me, uh,
excuse me.
even
Sorry.
even Grace Publishing, out now, tells the Post Tashara Jones about the biggest regret of her life, and now she's moving on. I delivered a healthy baby boy, my second child, Mason, and I finally felt my family was complete. So before the doctors finished up in the delivery room, I told them, I want you to burn my fallopian tubes. Okay. My fiance, okay, her fiance at the time, Neo, was right by my side, holding my hand the entire time. This is why I feel like she was manipulated, because even though she signed the papers, it's a lot of evidence out there that women are easily manipulated into doing stuff like this. This is why men prey on women, because women are easily manipulated. You can sell a man could sell a woman a dream faster than he can sell another man a dream. But look at what she says, what he was doing. He was right by her side. He was holding her hand the entire time. The doctor must have asked us 8 times if this
Are
was
you
what we
sure?
wanted. Each time we both replied yes. Okay, now right then, I wonder if she had asked them like beforehand, or they had talked about this beforehand, because if she's saying right then and there in the delivery room, I told them I want y'all to burn my tubes, you know, I gotta wonder. I'm like, did she think about this before she did this? And then hold on, y'all. Let
And I'm gonna tell you another thing too. By law, you have to have a form filled out 30 days beforehand. So if she had to have had that form filled out, it's a law. No matter what, unless it's an emergency, they cannot tie, clip, or burn your tubes unless that form is completed.
No, because they don't want to get sued. But let me read these next two paragraphs.
Got
So
it.
it says, sterilization was something Neo and I discussed thoroughly in the months leading up to the baby. Okay, so she had been discussing it. We
Hmm.
had a daughter, Madeline, in 2010, and two children seemed to be more than enough for the both of us. Neo also agreed to undergo a vasectomy to show our mutual commitment to the relationship. We first went in 2009 at a Jamie Foxx concert in Louisiana. He asked me out several times. She's talking about when she first met Neo. Okay. She's saying he asked her out several times and she finally said yes. And then I fell for him fast. Okay. And I wonder, okay, this is another thing that I want to talk to women about tonight. She said after he asked her out at the Jamie Foxx concert, she fell for him fast. He had such a good heart, and that's what attracted me to him. Okay, one, ladies, you have to look deeper into people than just what
Hmm.
they show you. Okay, he showed her on the outside, I possibly may have a good heart, but as we've seen throughout the years, Neo seems to be egotistical. He seems to be self-centered and only think about what's in his best interest. Okay, he don't seem that ain't something that I feel like people with good hearts do and how they act. Okay, so I feel like he sold her a dream. I feel like not only that, but the fact that like this is where I kind of fought her. I kind of fought her because I feel like she admitted it. She said she fell for him fast. Okay, women like I the first thought that came through my mind when I read that was, part of the reason you possibly fell for him is this man has money. Okay, that is a
And she tells multiple stories at a time. Because if I'm not mistaken, her background was like he wanted to have more kids, but they decided after a while, after her saying, "Okay, this is too much to handle. You got your stuff going on, and I want my stuff to happen."
mm,
And they decided she would get her tooth tied. That's how she portrayed it on the show, and that
yeah, and I have to
he
go
that
back
he
and watch
wanted
that show.
to. Yeah, she tell different stories about how what really happened. Now me, I'm all about the Ratchet TV, so I follows it from the beginning to the end. And if I'm not mistaken, that was one of the big reasons why they ended up falling out is because he wanted more kids.
Yeah, and then like the fact that if that's the case, then why one why promise her you gonna have a vasectomy if you knew you wasn't gonna go through with it?
Girl,
You
they
know what I
all do
mean?
that.
Like
I
still
want to know.
though,
I want to
like
know what
why
what
promise
was the content of that conversation.
why promise this woman you was gonna have a vasectomy if you wasn't gonna go through with it, and then why lead her on up until 2 months before y'all was supposed to get married, and you done proposed to her and everything, and I feel like he wasted her time in a way, and then like because I fought them both low key, but him I'm like I can't deny it because like look at what he's going through now. That's what is telling me that he was the problem in the situation because he got this current woman who used to be, from what I read, she was allegedly an Instagram model, Crystal Smith. And Crystal Smith recently came out and she went on a whole tangent. Like she uploaded this post to Instagram. I'm gonna play that video in a minute about everything she said, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to finish reading this article to y'all before I get
Oh
on that
yeah.
other video about what Crystal said. But it just seems like, and men like Neo, I have been surrounded by men like Neo for my whole life. Men like Neo who have money, they feel like they can just buy people with money. They feel like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, and I hate to put certain people in my personal life on the line. I'm not gonna say no names, but some of my relatives, some of my very close relatives, I ain't even gonna name their position in my family, but just know that I watched it growing up. I watched what some, especially black men, do when they have money. They feel like not only can they
Hmm.
pick and choose, and you can pick and choose the women you want in your life, but that's not how they see it. Like they feel like they can buy them off. I don't have to have a personality. I don't have to have integrity. I don't have to have a heart because I have money. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that, and I hate to say it, I really do, but I seen that in my own father. I
Mm-hmm.
really did. And like growing up as a young girl, this is why I be so against
And
it.
guess where he saw it?
Huh?
Growing up. Come
Yeah,
on now.
he didn't my dad didn't know his father growing up.
Yeah, but he had somebody that he saw that he mimicked.
I think it was the guys in the neighborhood because from what my paternal uncles always tell me, because my dad is well off now, y'all. So what my paternal uncles always tell me is like one thing that they remember is when like they were struggling, like back in the 60s and 70s and coming up, and they all used to have to share a bed and go to sleep in that same bed at night. They remember my father saying, I'm not gonna ever live like this anymore. I'm not going out like this. I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna give me some money, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So my father, even though like I feel like with black men, they view money, and money is in a way a certain power, but they use it and they yield that power in a very abusive manner. And Neo, like y'all, it's this video. He has this video clip on TikTok with him in an orange suit. Y'all can go back and watch it if you have a TikTok. He's in an orange suit, and Crystal Smith, his soon-to-be ex-wife, is in an orange dress. And the way that he walks, even his body language, I can pick up toxicity off of him because
Mm-hmm.
I recognize it from seeing it in my own father growing up. That's why I be telling these women, stop being so quick. This is where I fought Manetta, because I feel like when she met Neo, she seen dollar signs like a lot of women do. I have
Mm-hmm.
nothing against women being hypergamous and dating somebody with a bag because we want to be taken care of as women. We don't want all the load falling on us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that with that is you have to accept the good and bad with this person,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're gonna be in a commitment with this person. And like I said, growing up, being around certain male family members, like when they were babysitting us or whatever. And no, I didn't have no Jeepers Creepers uncles in my family. No Uncle Chester's, the M word. So we had my uncles and my family were pretty much protectors, and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But when they would take us around, us little girls, they would take us to get ice cream, buy us candy, take us to the park. We would see, because I don't know if y'all know it, but certain men use children to as a magnet
Mm-hmm.
to get women, you know. So when they would see these big, muscular black men with these young little girls, and they taking us to buy ice cream and all, you would see how these women reacted, especially if they heard about my family member or even my dad from around the way. They would start flirting immediately, y'all. And it always annoyed me because, like, not that I knew who or what my dad was involved in back in the day, because back then, come on now, y'all, I was a little girl. That was just daddy, right? Now that I'm grown, I'm like, they didn't know what they were signing up for, because once you committed yourself to my father, from what I've
Mm-hmm.
seen from not one, but my two stepmothers, it was like he, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say he owned them or he controlled the women he married, but you would see, like, for example, I seen it with my mom. I seen my mom, like they call it nowadays financial abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She was controlled with the money. That's how my mom was controlled. So when I was reading this article, and it says, after starting a family, I feel she says she fell in love with him, but that ain't the part I was talking about. The part I was reading is where I'm referring to is where she says she fell in love with him fast or whatever. And so I'm wondering, what about this person, especially if y'all just met at a concert, what about this person made you fall in love with him
Girl,
fast?
let me tell you, a leopard could only hide his spots for so long. But the thing is if a person is like that, they feed off of people who I guess what they call it would understand the assignment. So if you feel like if they feel superior to you and you
Mm-hmm.
continue to play in that role, and they feed off of that because at that point they do control whatever you think. So she could
Yeah.
have fell for that, for what she thought it was, and then when it didn't go the way that she wanted, then all of a sudden her eyes wake up, or your eyes wake up when when the rug is pulled from underneath you, then you realize, oh shoot, that wasn't what I like. I had a pastor say, don't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe
Mm-hmm.
your lying eyes, because everything is not what it appeared to be. You could be with somebody for years and not know who they are because they can put on a show for that long.
And that's what it seems like with this article, because let me keep reading and show y'all why I feel like that's kind of it feels like when she was with Neo, she didn't know who she was with. Let me read and so y'all can understand. So it says, the next year I found out I was expecting. It wasn't a complete surprise, and we weren't using any protection. Again, she is claiming that she's a Christian or whatever, and this is before she got married to this man or whatever, and they were already screwing. Now, I ain't the one to judge nobody. Anybody who has been watching BWA, y'all know I cuss like a drunken blue sailor. But I just find it what irritates me about people calling themselves, like Christians is whatever. Like, you get that bad rep with being a Christian and you not doing stuff Christian like. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
They get that bad rep from that. So I can't stand when people do that. I
Well,
feel
people
like
do that because they want sympathy. They will. I mean,
no, that
not
ain't even
like
the
that,
point.
but
That ain't even the point of what I'm trying to say. The point of what I'm trying to say is I feel like she kind of set herself up for failure, because I'm finna say some stuff, and maybe because a lot of times I get most of my views when people come back and they watch the lives later on, but a lot of people might get mad at me. But again, I feel like certain women, when you have children before you're married, you end up regretting. Like, you might love your children or whatever, but you might end up regretting having those children. You might regret, you know what I'm saying? A lot of women have children and they regret having them children. Then every day you have to look into the face of somebody who looked like the person who broke your heart. You know what I mean? That's got to be hard. That has got to be
girl.
difficult. But let me, because y'all know I can talk about multiple subjects at one time, and I will get
Hmm. And
very.
I'm gonna tell you, just because you married don't mean nothing. I that
Oh,
don't mean
we
that
about to
means
get on.
absolutely
We
nothing.
about to get on Crystal Smith in a minute, and that's exactly why I wanted you on this live tonight. So we ain't gonna get ahead of ourselves. That's exactly why I
Okay.
wanted you on here. But I'm gonna read this article. So she said they were not using protection, and she wasn't shocked when she first found out she was expecting. And it says, after starting a family, I fell more in love than ever in 2010 during a weekend in the Dominican Republic. Now y'all got to understand, Shreveport, Louisiana, where Mayetta is from, is a it's I don't feel like it's like it has a lot of money. It's basically a poor ass city where a lot of black people is. Okay, I get tired of trying to be politically correct on here. It's a poor ass city, southern city in Louisiana, and it's a lot of black people down there. So put yourself in the perspective of Mayetta. Mayetta is falling in love with a celebrity. She's getting this dream lifestyle. So I don't think that she has standards with this man. Okay, because everything was going too fast. Like, she popped them babies out, y'all, one behind the other, and then after they broke up, from what I seen in the video, they were still living together. She was still living in that
Hmm.
house with him. But hold
They
on,
was on the show together. Yep.
yeah, let me go ahead and keep reading, because I keep getting, y'all know I got a little twinge of ADHD myself.
I got more than a twin, so.
I got a little twinge. Okay, well, let me get into this though. So she's saying that after they started a family, she felt more in love than ever. In 2010, during the weekend in Dominican Republic, she's probably never been out of the country, y'all. She was at Fabulous, rapper Fabulous's birthday party. Neo asked her to marry him. They were in a suite. He told everybody to be quiet. He pulled her hand. He dropped down on one knee, and she immediately started crying. He incorporated the lyrics to his song "Make Me Better" and pulled out a 10-carat diamond ring. Okay, now so you're possibly dealing with a young woman from the hood who probably ain't never been nowhere. Now she's in the Dominican Republic getting proposed to by a up and coming celebrity. Because let's not act crazy. Between I would say 2007 to about 2014, that was Neo's big years. He was dropping a lot of hits
Hmm.
between that time.
Okay.
Okay, so it says in 2011, I found out she was pregnant again with her son Mason. This time Neo wasn't there a lot. Our home base was in Atlanta. Sent you need to really be paying attention to this part because this is gonna hit on something you just said. She says, um, at the time that she had the second child, she feels like Neo was not there a lot. Their home base was in Atlanta, but he spent most of his time working out in LA.
Of
I
course.
told him our family should be in LA with you, but he was adamant that he wanted his family to grow up in Atlanta. I would travel to see him sometimes, but as the pregnancy progressed, I could no longer fly. Okay. But he was there for Mason's birth and gave what the fuck, y'all. Excuse my French, y'all. It says she says he was there for the pregnancy. Listen to this, and gave her a high five after the birth in the delivery. What is they at a baseball meeting? Gave you a high five.
But see, that's what I'm saying.
That
You gotta so and while you
gave
reading
you a
that,
high five.
you're reading it from your perspective.
Yeah, you're
Like
right.
if it's you. If you watch now, I'm gonna say, I'm really sensitive about how I read people. She is not I don't feel like she's from a small town type deal. What I think is her mentality at the time, or it she, at that point, by the time they had the kids, I'm sure that she had been out the country a couple of times because, like you said, he was at his height, at the height of his game. Atlanta was was at that point. Atlanta was a hot spot for music, but LA was starting to kick in at that point in 2010. So at that point, to be honest with you, with most relationships, if that relationship, he was already getting everything he needed, like they was already married. Why would he marry her at that point?
Right.
That's
That's why I
one.
said she screwed herself. But she's from,
The
you gotta
second thing
remember,
is, hold on, hold on.
she's from Shreveport.
That don't mean nothing. Look, at the end of the day, by the time she had the first one and then they had the second one, they moved fast. By the time she had the first one, and if he is a narcissist or whatever, by the
Mm-hmm.
time she had that first one, he realized everything is not about to be about me no more. So
Right.
he relocates, he finds a new source. That's
Right.
why
And
he
he
did not want
probably
her to come back. So
he
when they had already discussed getting the tubes tied, he was already done. But whatever it took to make it seem like everything was fine because she was pregnant,
mm-hmm.
that's what he did. Because even after they broke up, she was cool with him being there. They were still sleeping in the same bed.
Mm-mm-mm. And
So
I
that
question the
go back into,
mentality
huh?
of some black women in those situations. And the reason why I question that, I question, do we know our self worth,
No.
and things like that? Because not to get personal and bring my family into this, but I do have a brother who is just like my father. He's well off. He's handsome. He's what, like the saying goes, tall, dark, and handsome, or whatever. And for those of y'all who don't know, quick side note, that tall, dark, and handsome, it was never talking about dark skinned men. The darkness was referring to their personality, the fact that they were mysterious. That's where that saying
Mm-hmm.
comes from. It never had anything to
Exactly.
do with personality. I don't know why a lot of people in the black community think that, because it never did. But as I use it in the sense that the black community uses it, my brother is dark skinned. He's tall, dark, and handsome. He's financially well off. And one thing that I noticed with him, when he picks certain women, like I guess you call it womanize. What do you call it when they wine and dine them and they play all up in their faces?
Chivalry, finesse.
Yeah, he finesses them or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And after he gets them where he wants them, like this one that he has sent, and I feel for her. She a good person. She has a good heart. I love talking to her. I'm about the only sister out of all my siblings who she feels comfortable enough to talk to. They have three children together, right? So she is his baby mama, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now she does hair and everything, and I done told her a couple of times, leave my brother alone. He ain't sugar honey iced tea. Because every time I come to get my hair done, what is supposed to be a me time, he talking about my brother, you know? And at
Mm,
first she thought, oh, well, you must be getting offended at the things I'm saying. And I had to tell her, no, it's not that I'm
mm,
offended. It's that I want for you to know better and do better for yourself. Cause I, at the first, like when she start coming to me at first and telling me everything that my brother was putting her through, how he kept getting her pregnant and she kept going back. I had to, like, the first time, cool. The second time, okay, I'll listen to all of the complaints. The third time she did it, I had to start questioning her. Like, why are you allowing this to happen
exactly.
to you? Where's your self-worth? Where's your self-respect? You see what I'm saying? And I have a lot of siblings, y'all. And unlike a lot of these men who have kids everywhere and all over the Americas or whatever, me and all my siblings, we grew up together. So we grew up very close knit. And I'm saying that because at one point I used to work at a hospital. And the last child that she had with my brother, she kept that child so much of a secret. I didn't know that child existed. I didn't know she was even expected until I was working the mom baby unit. And I just so happened to open one of the doors. I was going in to take vitals, and she was laying in the bed with the third baby.
Mm,
Right. And I was highly pissed off. I wasn't pissed because she had another baby by my brother or anything like that. I was pissed because me and this girl developed a relationship and I cared about her. You see what I'm saying? I cared
mm,
about her so much, sent to the point where, like, me and my brother, our relationship, like, because he felt like, hey, you're my sister, you ought to be on my side, right? But
yeah, that's what they
like I
think.
used to, yeah, and it used to annoy me because I used to always tell him, I'm not on your side or her side, I'm on the side of right, and what
Mm-hmm.
you're doing to this young girl is dead freaking wrong, right? You dogging her out. But when she seen me walk in the room to get her vitals, she just put her head down because she knew what I was thinking. Like, why are you up in here? Why are you taking and doing, putting yourself through this? So getting back on the Mayetta, I feel like, it just does. It reminds me of the women who used to frolic around my uncles, around my
Mm-hmm.
brother, around my daddy. And it was all because these men were handsome and they had money. And I'm like, what? Basically, my question that I want different answers from, which hopefully when my channel gets a little bit more attention, I can have different women up here to get their perspective, is is it, especially in the black community, are we giving these men ammunition by, like, for
Mm-hmm.
example, you know where I'm getting to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we giving these men ammunition to dog us and treat us any old type of way because we see one of them, they look good in the looks department, their physique is good, and they have a little bit of money? Because again, growing up, I seen a lot of that around.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would say I think it's that, and then a lot of times it's like the potential you see in that person. I don't, a lot of times I don't think it start off like that because they do start off everything is good, and that's why it's so easy to quote unquote fall in love quick. But the thing is like once you gonna like the telltale sign is what you gonna do when stuff start getting hard. What do they do when stuff start getting hard? When you start having issues, when you gotta something to do, is they running? Is they shying away? You know
Right,
what I'm
but
saying? Different things like that. But if you're not paying attention,
mm-hmm,
because you were quote so in love, then you looking you open. I ain't gonna say quote unquote because we all done fell for that bull. But
mm-hmm.
sometimes, a lot of times, they don't even have to have money. I see some broke niggas.
Yeah, I done seen that
I've seen
too.
some broke ones, and they come in, especially tax
Yep,
time, and they
yep.
be frolic. They
They
be in there
straight
with
up
them booger
finesse.
bears at the Walmart, loving up on them. Girl, buying up all the sanitation wipes, all the good smelling stuff. Cat only smell good for the first part of the year, and it's a wrap after that.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, getting up in their cars, I see it all the time,
But
all
I
of the
do, girl.
time.
I question, like, black women because I'm like, I feel like a lot of other BWE content creators have been saying for years, in some way, shape, and form, we gave these men ammunition because
Hmm.
we did not require anything of them. We did not require that they respect us. We did not have standards. And sometimes because this man fits the vision we have in our imagination of what we think a Prince Charming ought to be or a man ought to be, like Prince Charming, he can provide for me, he's handsome or whatever. Did we do we ever look deeper than that? You know what I
Well,
mean?
here's the thing though, the culture is kind of changing because it
Mhm.
used to be that's because the thing is that's like a learned behavior. Back in the day, you look for stability and
Yeah,
protection, but nowadays we out here getting we out here getting where we need to get, and a lot of things are available that was not available before.
right,
So the people, the mentality that we're seeing that's that's lacking, it's especially with exposure now, you got TikTok, all that with all that motivational speaking, people speaking out. It's like it's starting to become lesser, and that's why they're going crazy because they can't control the women like that, and so that's why they reach out to
girl.
these people with low self esteem, or the
Yes.
people that's putting their body all up on and all their business up on social media because they bored,
Mhm.
insecure, or ain't got nothing else to do with their life,
Mhm.
and so those are the ones that they lean to. I say let them have them, but
Mhm.
don't complain about it because that's what you chose. At that point, you deal with what you chose, and you let us other ones that want some value, let
And you
us
know
move
what,
on with
Sid?
the other stuff. What's
You
that?
know what? On some real stuff, I thought because you be so busy with your business and everything that you have going on, I didn't think you paid attention like that. But you is on it tonight. You own it
Girl.
tonight. Like, cause I have been seeing a lot of women on TikTok say that, like back in the day, Big Mama and everybody, they had no choice but to stick with that toxic husband, the
Mm-hmm.
husband who beat on them, the husband who had the alcohol problem or whatever. They had to stick by him because that was their way of keeping a roof over them and their kids' heads.
Now they
Like,
ain't gotta deal with it.
yeah, and even my mom had most of her babies, well, all of her babies really in the 80s. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So she wasn't, because a lot of times when we talk about the past and how it was for women, especially black women in the past, we think in 60s, 70s, you know what I
Mm-mm.
mean?
Yeah.
50s. But even as late as the 80s, my mom, um, like men even of that time used to try to control the women with money and stuff. But even like my mom, the reason why my mom and dad, like one of the reasons rather why they didn't get married and they didn't work out is because um as I've said, I believe many times before on this page, my dad allegedly, because I don't know how true or false it is, but he financially abused my mom. Like he controlled her with the dollar. Like it I remember when I graduated for medical assistant and going to work at a hospital, and some of the older nurses seeing me and saying, "Hey, you are so and so's daughter. We remember working with your mother and your father coming to pull her off of jobs." Ain't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
He
See?
didn't want her working. He didn't want her learning. He didn't want her doing none of that. So, like my mom, because we've had such a strained relationship over the last 10, 15 years, I'm just now learning her side of the story.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And
I'm learning her side of the story. And then not only that, but with this situation as well, it's like these women, like you said, you really have to take some of the accountability as women because we do have more options now. I'm not talking about men, I'm talking about as far as providing for ourselves
mm-hmm.
and things like that. Because when I look at the Crystal Smith girl, she don't seem too much more like she's any smarter than Mayetta. When I look at her and I think about her and Neo's relationship, a couple things come to mind. The first thing is I feel like Neo is a little bit of a colorist. Um, like a lot of the black men in Hollywood, because you see she is like very, 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 very light skinned. Okay, I don't have nothing against nobody of any complexion. Let me just put that out there.
I
But
about to say, because I'm white, but I swear I'm black. Ain't nobody blacker than
girl,
me.
you lighter than me. They
I
be
know, but
girl,
hey,
it
it
be
don't
women.
matter.
Girl,
I'm
I'm
blackity
in
black black.
I'm in this new city and state, and it be women here, and they be like, "Candace, you're light skinned," and I'm like, "No, baby, I'm brown skinned." I am
Mm-hmm.
not light skinned. When I think of light skin, I think of Faith Evans. I think of because a lot of people nowadays they get light skin and biracial mixed up. You cannot be light skinned if you're biracial. That's two different things. You know, that's there's two different things. But I think about Faith Evans. Who else is light skinned back in the day? Mariah Carey is biracial. Even though that's my girl in the bag of pearls, she's biracial. Um, but yeah, first example that comes to mind is Faith Evans. But I noticed a lot of the black men in Hollywood, they ditch whoever was like the come up girl, or like they used to call it back in the day, the cleanup woman. They ditch that woman and they get who they really like the everybody saying the BWE world, they get their preference. They either get a white woman or they get a light skinned woman, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so one thing that I think that he did wrong with getting with Crystal is I feel like he was dating her not for who she was, but because of the status. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Of what she
probably.
portrayed. Because a lot of times men will deal with certain women because, like, you ever heard of the term trophy wife?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And hold on, y'all. I got to pull up that post that Crystal wrote or whatever. They were sharing it all over TikTok. And y'all have to excuse me because lately I've been trying to get into soups and salads and stuff. And so as I'm doing this live, I've been cutting and chopping up my celery and my onions and my green peppers and washing them and
Mm.
all.
Commercial break. Yeah.
What?
I said
What?
commercial break.
Man, I wish there was a button where we can hit it and go on a break real quick. Cause I'm so girl. I made me some
And
shrimp po' boys the other day.
ooh, that sounds good.
I
I was
did, girl.
gonna
They was
say, and you know too. I know that industry, the
fire.
entertainment industry, and I
Mm-hmm.
know how they roll. And I don't never talk about it because it's so it's so contrary to what people believe.
Well,
They
with the
go through the
colorism.
same no, just in general. They go through
Mm-hmm.
the same stuff everyday people go through. The
Yeah,
stuff
they
people
do.
be thinking because they got money, they go through the same
Yes, they
exact. They
do.
still got to go pick up their badass kids from school. They still got to go to work.
Mm-hmm. And they have to hide scent. I think I lost scent, but I think she'll be back. But
Just be
yeah, they
real.
do,
At
y'all.
this point, anybody can make some money and
Yeah.
come up and lose it. You know.
Yeah.
So or fame, you get it. You get it
Yep.
one day, it's gone the next day. So at the end of the day, it's like they go through the same thing, but people be thinking because that they famous, they don't go through. No, 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 no. They going through the same bullshit. You gotta when you pull out your car, when you go out to your car and your tire is flat, they go
Girl.
through the same thing.
They
If you
really do.
some
And it's
and
mm-hmm.
I, oh no, I was gonna say sometimes even with money, your tire get flat and you think, oh, they got money, they ain't got to worry about it. Hey, sometimes that money don't flow in like you think it flow in. They gotta get that money from something. They gotta get the money to come in. They be done spent
Right.
all their money on having this life and then don't really have it like that
Right.
and
That's
don't
what I
even
was
have it.
That's what I be trying to tell people about Cassie, because girl, it be people here, like in the new city that I'm in, like asking me about her. Like this lady at this bank knows about Cassie. She know about all about her business and things like that. And she like people. It's crazy because people will assume they always assume, for example, like family members. Oh well, y'all must like live off your relatives' dime. I don't get nothing from my sister. Yeah, it's
Right.
Cassie a millionaire, but I don't get anything from her and I don't ask her for nothing. The second thing that they think is Cassie, like always have people asking me, like, is she always on yachts and traveling? I'm like, no, the broad works not to call my sister out her name. I love my sister, shout out to her, but she works 24/7.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't know that she has to work on the marketing. She has to work on new products, what's in, what's out. She has to make sure shipping. It's a lot that goes into that. Like, I don't know if people ever pay attention to these entrepreneurs when they have, like, it was a bunch of TikToks at the time that
Girl.
went out, and the entrepreneurs were saying they started working for themselves because they wanted their own time. They wanted to like work when they wanted to work, right?
Yeah, but they
And
work on.
then, yeah, and girl, like then they said when they got into the business of like being self-employed and running a business, they found out that not only will they not have their own time, but they got to work 24/7 around the clock.
Yeah, because
You
you got to
know,
work on you work
yeah,
in the business, then you got to work on the business, and you got to work for the business. Like
Cassie. Girl,
it's
my sister told me about when she had her breast cancer and she was going to Met Galas and stuff like that. This is around the time when she had first met Beyonce and she was running makeup and selling makeup to Beyonce. And she said she would literally be suffering at the galas. And
hmm
she would be, because I've never had endometriosis. I thank God I've never had it. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy,
girl, it's the worst.
especially from when my sister done told me. My sister said, Candace, I used to be at the galas and my dress, the back of it would be full of blood. And she said the
hmm
only thing that would save me as I'm trying to save face in front of all these celebrities is the fact that her boyfriend will cover her up or do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He would cover for her. And so people don't realize, like, just because you see things in the magazines or
hmm
on social media, that's not how it is.
Mm-mm.
That's
Not at
not how
all.
it is.
Not at all. Because I'm telling you, I've seen stuff that I'm just like, man, it changed my perspective, and that's why I think that's why I my perspective is so broad. Like
Mm-hmm.
I see stuff totally different because one, I always say, look, be accountable. Like anybody can say, oh, they made me do it. Oh, they. At the end of the day, like even it's some stuff that I've done. I'm like, I have to be accountable for that. Like even as an adult, I would say, oh, I did this because such and such made me do it. But now I'm like, no, I had a choice. I could have said no. I could like I mean, if you really, really look at the real big picture,
Mm-hmm.
no at the end of the day, you have a choice. Regardless of whatever influence somebody may have on you, at the end of the day, you have a free will to do whatever it is that's your choice. Now, if you let somebody influence you to the point that you don't do what you say or that you do something else, then you have to be accountable for the part that you played in letting that person influence you because at some point you felt like some point you feel like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that, or I could have did something, I could have made a different choice, or I could have did this or that. At some point you get to regret because you knew, then you see the big picture. I probably could have said no. I probably
Like
could have said yeah.
I'm half and half on that because like I get it, like we do have to have a certain degree of accountability as black women and as black men because they show don't like taking accountability for nothing.
I about to say I could go a step further and be very transparent. When I was
Mm,
what 17, I got pregnant and I had an abortion. And then
mm,
for the longest, I used to say, "Oh, my mom made me do it. My mom made me do it." But now, like as an adult, now I have to be accountable. I had a choice. She said that's what I had to do, but in reality, I knew I could say, "I really just I don't feel like I should do that." But in
yeah,
reality, I really did not want to have that baby.
but where I'm getting to is I do believe that it is master manipulators out there.
Oh yeah,
Um, like
definitely. But you
I,
still have to.
yeah, you have to take accountability, but we have to realize that it is some people out here who are predators, and these are men and women, and they're very skillful at manipulating others and even manipulating your way of thinking to where you feel like either you have no other choice or what they're saying is the best way to go. You see what I'm saying? That does
Yeah.
happen. So, like, and I'm a living witness to that. I'm a living witness to that. And that over the years, if I'm going to be transparent, that's what caused me to have trust issues. I have trauma from dealing with people, and I have a lot of social anxiety. I don't like being around people for too long because a lot of times people have shown me that they're not with me because they like me. You know, and I'm not, excuse me, y'all, I burped. I'm not talking about relationships. I'm talking about in general. Family members, friends, boyfriends. They have shown me that, Candace, you have other benefits or resources that we are smitten with, and that's what we want to do with you. You see what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so I have noticed like a lot over the years that I don't get too close with anybody. And like the first time I even smell something about you or look, feel
Mm-hmm.
like I'm uncomfortable, I cut you all the way off. You see what I'm saying? Like just like you said, I've told my story on how I came to the city that I was in on this channel before. I don't remember which live, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't remember which live that I shared my testimony on about how I finally left my hometown and escaped a DV relationship. If I find out which video that is, I will share it and I will link it to this one in the comment section. But I remember leaving and going to Texas before I came to the city and state that I'm in now. And how I got to where I am now is because somebody lied to me and manipulated my thinking and got me to believing that they was 10 toes down, they was gonna have my back, yada yada whoop de woo, right? But when I get here, literally 2.5 weeks after I arrived, this person fell out on me, y'all. Okay. And just like Sent said, I had a choice to do what I needed to do, but this person cast so much doubt in me on my own abilities. This person made me feel like I literally could not make it in Texas on my own. And it's so ironic because the new city and state where I am now, it's like it's weird because this person fell out on me after 2.5 weeks, and literally I've been here almost 2 years, and I've been making it when by nothing but the grace of God. You know, so it proves to me that baby, you always had the ability. They lied to you and they tried to hinder you. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said I'm half and half when it comes to the accountability thing, because yeah, we can like for example, like you said with the situation with terminating your
Mm-hmm.
pregnancy, you ultimately knew what you wanted to do, but
Yes.
you had your mind made up from jump. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. But
Nobody
it
could
took
come
me
in.
20 years to
Hold
get
on,
to
listen
that
to
point.
nobody could come in and tell you what to do because you knew what you wanted to do. But it is like certain people out there who will skillfully and willfully pray. And I don't like to call myself weak. I'm not weak. A lot of people like to say they pray on the weak. They pray on the people who they feel like, you know what I'm saying, is not as like you're strong-willed or whatever. I picked that up off of you just by you giving that testimony about, you know, getting pregnant at 17. I wasn't that strong-willed, not because I'm weak, but because I have never been that far away from home and on my own. So where everything was surrounding me and I was scared, scared for myself, scared for my children, I felt like I could confide in this friend and lean on her when the minute I got here, she fell out on me. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I said, yeah, we have to be accountable. But when I think about Mayetta's position in it, I feel like, yeah, like when she got to Atlanta or whatever, it probably did broaden her horizons or whatever. But I also feel like she was possibly so tied up in that lifestyle, she wasn't paying attention or learning.
No.
Again, she's from a small town. I'm
Because
from a
you
small.
don't, you when you
Listen,
smitten like that, you don't pay attention.
right, you don't pay attention. So that's what I'm saying. Like me being from where I'm from and going all the way to Dallas, it was so much, and I was only in Dallas for 3 months. It was so much going on in Dallas that I literally couldn't pay attention to nothing. I was overwhelmed. Like the first 2 weeks that I was in Dallas, I wouldn't even go outside. Like I only would go, like I enrolled in a class down there and I would only go to the class and I would go back to the Airbnb because even their traffic down there overwhelmed me. You see what I'm saying? So I feel
Mm.
like in a way Neo is responsible because he
Mm.
set up a environment for her to feel like, hey, I can lean on you, I can trust you. You see what I'm saying?
See, yeah, I hear you, but I think that's where we agree to disagree. Because the thing is yes, she was busy. Yes, it was fun. Yes, all of that. But had everything gone how she wanted it to go, would we be talking about it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because then she wouldn't have had nothing to complain about per se. But the thing is at the end of the day, she has to be able to sit back and look at it. Like how you look at your situation now. You sit back and you like, it was overwhelming, yes. I was in a bad headspace, yes. She says stuff to get you in a certain way, and it helps switch your perspective.
Yeah, but
I hold
I
on.
still feel like, yeah, we can take accountability, but it's still people like I'm obsessed with this book, y'all. I was supposed to do like a review on this
Ew.
book, and we were supposed to go through it one chapter at a time. At the time I couldn't go live because YouTube has changed its rules to where you don't have to have 1,000 subscribers to go live. But at that time that wasn't the thing, so I couldn't go live. But the book, The Lucifer Effect,
Mm.
how good people turn evil. Okay. I have been obsessed with that book because it literally explains how the mind can be manipulated and how people are brainwashed. Okay, like yes, you have this thing with accountability, but that's again, I have a choice. Like we all have a choice. Like if we talk about this in a spiritual manner, we all have a choice to do right or wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We all have that choice. God give you free will, but also God is aware that one, the enemy knows how to talk people into stuff. Not only do he know, like for example, if I was as strong willed as you, like you do have people out there who are strong willed at some moments and they're weak at other
Mhm.
moments. So listen,
Exactly.
for example, at I know for example, like say I just finished eating a meal or whatever, I'm full and I'm about to go on this fast. I'm about to go on an 8 hour fast. I just ate my last meal. And I'm about to skip dinner and go on a fast. It's like eight woke hours and then 8 sleep hours. So technically, I won't eat again until breakfast the next day, right? So
Mhm.
at that time that I just finished that meal, I'm full, and that's at the time that I'm strongest at will because the devil know, oh, I'm not gonna be able to con Candace into eating no damn ice cream because she full right now. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna
Mhm.
wait to that weak moment. Okay, and that's what a lot of manipulators do. They wait till they find you at a weak moment. Okay, just like it said in Matthew 4 about Jesus. Satan didn't tempt him. He never once tempted him when he was strong-willed. He tempted him at the weak moment. It said in Matthew 4, Jesus had went about 40 days and 40 nights, and he was hungry. He was hungry, and that's when Satan slithered in like the serpent that he is, and he said, "Turn this bread into stone." So I feel like in a way, you don't have to agree to disagree with me. I feel like in a way we're both right. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because you can be strong willed, but then there's also times where the flesh and the matters of the heart we get weak.
Right. And
You see
that's what
what
I'm
I'm saying?
saying. That's what I'm saying when once you get past that part. Like once you recognize this is what's happening, how do you turn it around? That's when I'm talking about accountability. Because you do get lost in the time. You get lost in the temptation, you get lost in whatever. But once you recognize it, what do you do with that? How do you handle that?
I
You
feel
just
like for her because she stayed, after they were still living in the mansion and all. She stayed after they were separated. I feel like part of the reason why a lot of people put up with the things that they put up with, even though they do have a choice not to accept it, I feel like part of it is fear. It's
Yeah.
fear, and fear is a demon within itself. It can get you into, like, I mean, just think about the channel that we talking on, Black Women Aware. A lot of women stay with toxic men not because they don't have a choice whether or not to leave, but it's been statistically proven that when they leave or when they get ready to leave, that's like the most dangerous part of that relationship, because this person is going to possibly come back
Exactly.
and try to unalive them. So they stay because of fear.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I feel like he, in a way, financially abused her, because she doing well now. Like, I don't know if you've seen the pictures of her wedding. I don't, the man she with, he look handsome, whatever. She's doing well now, you know. But I feel like he took advantage, because I've seen it so many times in my family. That's why, like, growing up, when I used to see my brothers bring home them girls, and they used to start calling my mama mama, and I used to be so irritated. I don't know, have you seen that TikTok sent with the girl? She was like, stand up, y'all be so weak in the knees, stand up. You ever seen that?
Mm. Mm.
You ain't, oh girl. See, I got to play it. I got to play it for the audience, because she literally, I was like, man, if I could just reach through the screen and hug this little girl, because she was like, y'all be so weak in the knees for these men. Y'all need to stand up. And I was like, man, I swear for God they do. Like, I had girls back when I was in high school sent befriend me, and I didn't like them and they didn't like me. They only befriended me to get close to my brother. You see what I'm saying? And they were really,
Yeah.
that's when
But
I,
here's the thing, though.
but,
Like, this
but
is the
listen,
only reason.
that's
Huh?
when I really lost respect for them, because at least when I didn't like you, you didn't seem easy and weak, and
True
you
that.
seem like you said strong will. But now that you know who I'm kin to, you know who my older brother is. Now you want to
Hmm.
be. That's when I would dog, and I ain't proud of it. Back then, I was a kid. I didn't know no better. Again, this was my high school years, but I would dog them women out, because I know I can say what I want to you, because you want my brother. You know.
Yeah.
But hold on. Let me hold on. Here it is. Here it is. Hold on. I got to replay it. Like, if you ain't in no relationship, you gonna die. Y'all be weak in the knees. Stand up. Stand up. She be having me wrong. Ain't no nigga finna treat me like no yellow laffy taffy. I am not the booty piece of the bread.
Yellow happy taffy.
Cause she faked Evans light skin. She faked Evans light skin, and she said that for the audience. She said that because a lot of
Don't
times,
nobody like the yellow. Don't nobody like the yellow Laffy Taffy.
yeah, but
Nobody like the
and a
yellow
lot of
Laffy
times
Taffy.
people think they can get over on these women. Like, they think they stupid and stuff. I be trying to tell them, like, I like the yellow Laffy Taffy. What you talking about? I like the banana.
Ah, that's the worst kind.
Man, you was a lie. The banana was fire.
Well, you can have all the rest of them for the rest
I
of my
didn't like
life
the
because you ain't
sour
never.
green apple. Everybody was having the what, green apple and all. It
Yeah.
used to make me squint my eyes.
Ooh. Well, let me tell you something.
Man, them things
Thing
was
is those people, the people like, okay, so this is my hardest part about watching those TikToks. Because sometimes, like
fire.
I said, I done seen all these areas of how in the one area and another area, man, it be them same people that be doing those TikToks that be getting they head, they be getting pumpkin head deluxes. Or they be getting dogged. Like, that's why they be having so much insight, because they going through it and they want out. But it's just hard to watch those things. Like,
I can't.
I be listening to, like,
Yeah.
I be hearing some people listen to some this is how you supposed to treat a man because of blah blah blah. Girl, fuck and you. Okay, how about
Right.
that?
Right.
How about you treat
I
them like
agree.
that and you deal with the bullshit that you got to
Right.
deal with? Because
I agree.
at
I
this
agree.
point, here, look, you have that, and you do what you say you do, and when he get done running all over you and treating you like a piece of stick on the floor, then you come back and say that same shit with that pumpkin head deluxe and that black eye, and I'm gonna be like, okay, now I can respect what you saying.
That's why I be telling people now,
I can't
man,
do it.
just give me a goldfish and set me in the corner. I'd rather have a goldfish and set in the corner than be in a relationship and I gotta put up with X, Y, and Z. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I ain't built for it. I am not built for that. But I found this TikTok with the girl, and she's basically gonna go over what Crystal said in her Instagram post that she deleted. And then we're gonna talk about that because I ain't gonna front though. That's one thing about certain women that I despise. I despise when certain women don't have backbones, and y'all, you get to showing these men that they can run over you, and then they take advantage of you. And I can't stand that. Like, stop. Like, have standards for yourself. Even if this man on the outside is somebody that you really want to date, I don't care. Like, have some standards for yourself, because when they see that, I done literally sat around my brothers and had them. I wouldn't say rate is a bad word, because it doesn't define what I'm trying to say. It wouldn't be the right word, but I've literally had my brother sit around and say, "Hey, this is what that one is for. This is what that one is for." You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I be shocked. That's why I
Yeah.
be like, man, don't give into that sugar honey iced tea.
Hierarchy. That's how I feel about them good morning texts. Get me off your roster. Don't do that
Get
shit,
me out
man.
your roster.
I don't even want to be on the roster. Let me tell you, I was listening to a Joe Budden podcast, and they was laughing about how females was like, they was laughing at how females was getting off on them sending a good morning text because it was from them. You know what? Look, they done
Right.
messed up for anybody after that. Because I'm like, you'll never sit back and be sitting up kikiing it up because
That's
you
why I
sent
be
me
telling.
a good morning text,
That's
and then
why I
I'm
be
supposed to be
telling
happy about that.
my big girls and basically all the girls and all the black women out there who the men have ever told you it was something about you that was a flaw, whether if they told you had a big nose, you was geeky, you was fat, you was dark skinned. We're blessed because I feel like we avoided the toxic people.
Mm-hmm.
They go towards the prefaces. They don't want us. They go towards the prefaces, so we avoid a lot of the bullshit. you know.
Yeah.
And the women, like I said, it be certain women who, if they just had a little bit more standards about themselves, you could wrap them niggas around your finger.
True that, and that's what I was gonna say. It ain't just the men; man, women do it too. But the
Yeah.
thing is too. It's like you said earlier. Sometimes it's the thing is certain people have a certain trigger over you. You could be strong willed or whatever. At the end of the day, you can have all of that, and you know what I be dealing with. And at the end
Mhm.
of the day, look here. You have to sit back and really take a deep dive, because one thing I can't stand is a bee that'll sit up in some mess, sit up and endure it, and be cool with it. And then when stuff don't
Mhm.
go their way, that's when they sit up and talk about how such and such is this and this. Da, 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 da.
Right.
Don't wait until then to try to get sympathy from me, because I ain't got it for you. Because at the end
Right.
of the day, I'm like, what did you do? Did you stay or you go? Like the first, like you said, the first time, okay, I understand it. Second time, okay, I understand it. But that third time, I'm be like, okay, so what was your choice? Because I don't.
Right.
At
That's
this
why I had
point, we
to.
we just talking about this.
That's
That's
why I
it.
had to tell my brother, baby mama. I'm like, look, I feel for you, like, but every time, and she good as hell at doing hair, y'all. The lady got such a gift, but I'm like, look, I'm not saying I'm on his side or I'm on yours. Just like I told him, I am on the side of righteousness, but I can't keep coming to get my hair done and paying all this money
To
for
be your
this to be
therapist.
my piece, right? To be
Hmm.
your, and I feel like I should get the hairstyle for free because I'm serving you. You see what I'm saying? And she feels like because that's my brother, I'm supposed to have the magic potion into fixing him or
No,
know
because
something, or sometimes it's like, oh, you're supposed to know something about him that I don't know and relay and tell me. No, I'm not getting in the middle of y'all shit. I don't want
right.
to be in the middle. You see what I'm saying? I feel for you. One thing about my brother, even though he is a serial baby daddy, he take care of all his kids. He has houses, he's different. This is what attracts these women to him is he's not the bummy pookie running around making babies, and he like the Nick Cannon, y'all. He's still, that's one thing
Ooh.
that annoys me about him because he financially he's well off, he can provide financially for these kids, but I'm like, do you not realize what we went through? You see what I'm
Of
saying?
course.
Because my uncles, when I need advice from a male figure, my paternal uncle is who I go to. And my
Hmm.
paternal uncle just dropped something on me recently, saying he was like, you're not the only niece that comes to me for advice. More of your sisters come to me because they say I'm easier to talk to than your father. Like my father is literally emotionally unavailable. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And that's what I be trying to get these women to realize who be going after these Nick Cannons. Oh, he got a little bit of money. He can take care of the kid. Okay, he can take care of them financially, but what about the more important stuff? The mental and
Hmm.
and the spiritual and all that?
I
Because
just had this conversation with my niece.
yeah, and I'm like, look, one thing that my dad, I feel like he greatly failed us on is he didn't pour into our minds. He didn't pour
Hmm.
into the most innermost, and the very, I can't even say it, the most important part of us, he did not pour into because he was emotionally unavailable. And it was so many of us that his main thing was providing. So, like my
Hmm.
dad, I just told him on Father's Day, when it comes to like you putting a roof over our heads, you did that. You bought the houses we lived in. You used to run our doctor's appointments. You bought our school clothes. You did like when my mom didn't do the grocery shopping, he would do it. He was the authoritative parent when we need to be kept in line. He used to pop up at the schools to keep us in check. He did that. And when I talk to I've even talked to other women, other content creators in this BWE space, and they'll tell me this is what they'll tell me, and it kind of frustrates me, but then again, I kind of understand it. They'll say, "Be happy he did that," because most of our daddies didn't do that, right? And I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, he did
That's what
that.
they say, but no, I agree with you.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
because I'm like, he did that, but I feel like one, you dropped the ball on us because everything you already knew about life and about business and about just about men and everything, you could have saved us if
Yeah.
you had mentally poured into us instead of
Hmm.
bashing us over the head. Like my one, I have a sister who, I have like two or three sisters who back to back they have children. Like all of their children, granted, are
Who's
grown
that?
now, but and my dad, he
Ain't
used
he
to
in the
come,
bed?
huh?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. But my dad, he used to, what I'm saying, beat them over the head. Like, I told y'all not to do X, Y, Z and all this other. But I'm like, did you really sit down and pour into us? Because you didn't.
Right.
You see what I'm
No,
saying?
that's
So I'm grown now, and I'm starting, like, now that I live out of town, I'm starting to develop a
I'll be okay,
relationship
lady.
with both my parents.
Mm.
And within this time, like, one thing that I can say about the whole thing is like I realize that now, like, dad, you dropped the ball. You see what I'm saying? You dropped the ball. But yeah, I feel like because we can talk, y'all, if y'all didn't already
Yeah.
notice. But
Cause I know I'll say for my dad. My dad was there majority of my life, and
mhm,
he was more emotionally available for me, but not for
mhm.
my siblings, unfortunately. And the thing is although he was there for me, uh, emotionally, he didn't understand what
Can
it is.
you
He didn't
can
know
you
what was
share
proper.
Can you share that story that you shared with me about your dad and how he taught you about money? Because to
Oh
me,
yeah,
as somebody who did not have their father there emotionally, that was very meaningful to me. And I was listening to you tell that story, and I was like, damn, that's what I wanted. Like, if we even
yeah,
had lived in a cardboard box, if I had my dad there just to connect with me emotionally and mentally, you see what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
it's weird. A lot of people complain, and I be telling people, like I was telling this other content creator, right, Sent? I
Mhm.
was telling her, people who grew up without their fathers, they don't know how good they fucking have it. And the content creator kept cutting me off, wouldn't let me talk and explain myself. So I'm like, how are you gonna learn if you don't let motherfuckers talk, right?
Right.
So I'm like, I had my father there. Am I blessed that I had my father there? As far as financially, yeah, we were blessed because he did take care of a lot. And it's not a day that go past that I don't thank my dad for everything that he did for us. But imagine having your father there and getting out into the dating realm and you still don't know shit about men.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
I
Well,
said, at least with you having an absent father, you can lay on the fact that hell, wasn't no motherfucking body there to teach me shit. You see what I'm saying?
true.
I had somebody there, but he wasn't there. He was there, but he
True.
wasn't there. But yeah, I want you to share that story because for me personally, hearing that, it was meaningful. It was like, I don't know if you even know how I connected with that story. I felt like it was a very meaningful story. It was beautiful to me.
Okay, so what it is my dad. My dad is actually dyslexic, and he what's the word, dystaxia, where he get the numbers mixed up. He probably have like a sixth grade education. That that's pushing it. And I might be wrong. It might be more. I don't know. Nonetheless, he he would work so many jobs, but one of the jobs that he worked was at Domino's, and when he would get his tips. And so for him, his biggest thing was his father wasn't involved in his life, so he wanted to be the parent that he didn't have. So what he would do is when he got home, he would say, if you count up this money, my tips, the change, if you count it right, you can have it. To this day, I never knew this up until I became an adult. He couldn't count, so
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know if I had it right or not. But I learned how to. I learned the difference between money, like what was a dime, what was a nickel, what was a penny,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And he made it, and he was like, "You can have it. Whatever. If you get it right, you can have it." Man, it would be nice. I'll be up 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning counting them pennies, trying to get that trying to get that money.
Yeah,
But that's how I learned how to count money.
and
Hmm.
see, for me on the outside looking in, I'm like, that's beautiful because, and y'all, I'm sorry for the background noise. I'm cutting up vegetables to go in my little soup that I'm making. I'm gonna let it simmer in the crock pot overnight. But yeah, for me, it was all like something just as simple as that, y'all. I used to be like, damn, because me and my dad, our relationship has always been like a strained relationship because he didn't understand me and I didn't understand him. I'm like one of my dad's youngest daughters. And one of the things that has strained our relationship so much over the years is because when he would come around, like y'all have to understand this. I was a very young child. Like my dad has always been in my life, but when he would come around, my earliest memory of my father, like, yeah, he was a big kid. Sometimes he would take us to amusement parks. He would have fun with us and stuff like that. But the majority of the time that I seen my father was providing for us, or he was the authoritative parental figure, right? He was the parent that my mother called to get us in line, right? So I learned to be scared of my father. I
Mm.
was so scared of my father growing up to where I would not call him daddy. And my dad, I remember one time I was outside and he pulled up because, like, again, even though him and my mother was not married, my dad came over, y'all, like damn near every day to check on us, to make sure we was getting our homework done and shit like that. He was like a drill sergeant. He kept our asses in line, right? So this day he came over and come on now, I can't be the only kid. I can't be the only kid who used to eavesdrop on the grown folks' conversations. Come on now. But I used to eavesdrop on my mom and dad conversations about me. Like they would always be having these conversations about me. And my dad was convinced that I did not like him. And that was
Mm.
never the case. It was never that I didn't like my father. I admired my father growing up. My father was like my superhero, but he was also the man that I was scared of because I always seen him in an authoritative kind of parent. So I remember being outside playing in front of the house, and he got me by myself and he said, if you call me daddy, I'm gonna buy you a whole new wardrobe, new dresses, new everything. Cause I would never call him daddy, y'all. And my dad used to think, oh, she's not calling me daddy because she doesn't like me. Not understanding that, nigga, I ain't calling you daddy because I'm so fucking scared of you. I think if I say the shit wrong, you gonna whoop my ass. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So, when she first told me that story, it wasn't just like to somebody else who is ignorant and don't have no wisdom. Oh, y'all gotta excuse me. These onions got my eyes tearing up. But somebody who don't have no sense and don't understand how to cherish something like that, they wouldn't understand it. But for me, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it, and when every time she tells me that story, I'm like, damn, do you not understand how meaningful that is, how beautiful
Mm-hmm.
that is, how priceless that is, how much it's other people out there who would have killed to have that, who like me, who had their father around financially, but you didn't have them around emotionally, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like my dad, I used to want to always tell him, like, shit, some of this shit, daddy, that you do for us financially, just like my mom, same with my mom, some of this shit that y'all do for us financially, low key, I can go without as long as I can connect with you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I feel like even to this day, some of my sisters, when they talk to me about my dad, they talk to me about him like I don't know him, even though we grew up in the same household and my dad was never estranged from our lives or nothing like that. But they talk to me like, hey, Candace, dad likes strawberries. He likes this, he likes that. Because I am almost 40 fucking years old and I still have that childhood fear deep within me when I go around my father because he
Mm-hmm.
was that emotionally unavailable. So I'm saying that because any young woman who comes across this video and you get with a man just because he has money, or let's say you one of these toxic women and you try to set yourself up, because it does happen. It does. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just like men can purposely get women pregnant, women sometimes purposely get pregnant by men. Okay, let's just keep it a buck over here, right? You need to realize what you are going to be exposing your child to. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you need to realize, y'all have to, especially black women, because I feel like we get the lowest of the totem pole when it comes to this man, and we feel like because he has some good features, I'm just gonna accept the even though he has like what 45% good shit, I'm gonna accept the other what 55, 65% good bullshit because the 45 is good. Y'all have to stop being like that. And it's a lot of black women who are like that, and you don't realize how it's affecting your children. I'm one of the
Mm-hmm.
children who was like that. Like my mom and my dad, like I really don't know a lot about their relationship, but I do know how it affected me and my sisters. And we still live with that trauma to this fucking day. Okay? So them clothes that they bought, the houses that we grew up in, and all that financial support that my father provided, yeah, we needed it, but we needed his love, his attention, and the emotional and mental support a lot more because in the end, that was all that fucking really mattered. You see what I'm saying? I was 11, the house burned down. My dad and my mom, they rebuilt it and sold it. Okay, the clothes and shit, we eventually grew out of that shit. So basically, what I'm saying is the material shit don't last, y'all. What lasts is what you put in your children
Mm-hmm.
mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. That's real shit right there. I can't get no realer
Yep.
than that.
That's true. Very true. And that's the
Now,
thing. And we got to break all them different cycles, the different mind frames. It start at home. They
yeah,
can blame everything they want on them teachers. At the end of the day, it start at home.
it starts at home. It starts at home. And now, just fast forward, you have my father who, you know, he's still kind of emotionally unavailable, but I feel like in a way, slowly but surely, he's coming around because he's getting up in age. But he is trying to connect. Like, I'm not going to talk about my sisters and their relationship with my father because I feel like I'll be overstepping my boundaries because only they can tell their stories. You understand? But
Mm-hmm.
as far as me, you have a man who is almost in his 70s with a daughter who is almost in her 40s, and he's still trying to connect with me. And it's still a disconnect there because of like you didn't get me at my foundation. You see what I'm saying? You didn't
Mm-hmm.
catch me when I was a baby. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
used to you
Not being available.
like emotionally not being available. So now how has it affected our relationship now that I'm an adult? My father gets offended because he'll say, you only call, like he used to say this, I haven't had to call my father for a financial emergency for years now, and I'm very proud of that. I recently told my father, don't worry about me. I'm grown now. I can fend for myself. I can tell that me and my father both are changing because like when I used to call my dad for financial help, he would complain, Candace, you grown now, yada yada whoopty woo. But now it's like the roles have reversed. And I told my father recently, like, you don't have to provide for me anymore. Like I'm going to be okay. But he switched it up on me recently, y'all, and he's like, you know what? I've never heard this before. Sid has heard it before, and I was surprised my dad even knew about this, you know, because it's so much that he knows that I don't know he know, because again, we don't have that emotional bond with each other, right? At all.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad recently told me, like, no, fuck what you talking about. If you need me, you fucking call me. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to be there, and I'm responsible for you until you get married. And I was
Exactly.
so taken aback by that, y'all. So since I've been out of my home city and state, I'm blessed because I can say I have not been had to call my father or my mother once for anything, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, you know, my dad, like every time I go home, Candace, do you need anything? You know, it's always that sort of deal, and I'm blessed for that. But again, that's how he connects with me because it's the only way he knows how to show love is providing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but what Cent was talking about, like that to Cent or to people like Cent, they probably think like, and I've had friends like Cent who had their fathers mentally and emotionally and spiritually, and they would look at me grow up and say, you're stuck up, because they would see my father, and I'm not trying to stunt or nothing like this. I'm just trying to really give y'all a word so that you young women listening or who are going to listen to this in the future, you can learn and you can understand how your actions will one day affect your children. But people would look at me and they would see my father pulling up in the Jaguars, in the Beamers, in the Benzes, and they would say, you're stuck up, yada yada whoopty woo, not knowing when I see them with their fathers or whatever pulling up in the hoopties and the pintos. And yeah, my father never did leave us on any occasion and not hug us and tell us that he loved us. He did do that, but that was about the only time I really remember my father like emotionally connecting with us. But other than that, when they daddies used to pull up and shit, sit down with them and have lunch with them, have conversations with them, go to their games and shit. Back in high school, I was into poetry and shit, and their father would show up at their poetry jams. And this father, hell, probably was a janitor and didn't have much. They didn't know that low key. While you thinking I'm stuck up and thinking I'm better than you, I'm jealous of you and you jealous of me. Ain't that some crazy ass shit?
It is, but at the same time, let me tell you, I know this gonna sound weird, but it was so crazy that everybody would come. It was like my house. You know how my mom is. She embraced everybody. So it was like it was to the point where everybody wanted to. They was like brothers and sisters. So they just come to the house, they eat, drink, whatever. But my
Uh-huh.
dad was always big about humbling yourself. He was always
Mm-hmm.
big about humbling yourself. And now that I'm older, I realize why. I ain't gonna put it out there right now, but now I realize why he did that, and it's only because he's like, and that's why to this day I'm like that. Like I help whoever I can help, or come on over. Kids, especially kids, they don't, they didn't beg to be born, but
Uh-huh.
his thing was like, and you never know. And when I was probably in like the sixth grade, I had a friend, and I think this is when I really realized that you know it sometimes it's hard for people to realize what they have. So this friend, her mom was out there bad, and You know, she I went over to her house. And I'm like, dang, she 12. She know how to cut up a whole chicken. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Me, I'm thinking like, man, she know how to take care of her brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? I'm looking at all this. I'm like, man, I have to do better. Like for me, I mean, I felt like I need to do more because look what she doing. I don't know nothing about no chicken. I don't know nothing about that. And then she would be like, she will always want to come to my house first. And I'll be like, well, you know, I always wanted to go to her house. There was always something going on at her house, but our house was more consistent, I'll call it. It wasn't very chaotic or nothing like that. But I let her embrace that time at my house because I like my peace. But I think that it made me feel like everybody was like a brother or sister for me because like my dad was a dad that'll like if we went out for basketball, he'd be out there showing us how to dribble. We went out for cheerleading. My dad can probably tell you all I can't say the school, but he know all the songs to that school, and he would be out there in the front in the front yard. She's getting on us about our form. Your arms ain't straight enough. Straighten them arms up. You know, but I think when we what we were talking about is I was saying I don't understand how my dad is how he is now,
Mm-hmm.
because my kids are missing out on something so great that I got to that I got. Even my brothers and sisters, they didn't get it. They didn't get to get that same thing, and I feel sorry about that because my dad was an awesome dad, and I think he would be an awesome grandfather, but he just not. I don't know how you go from one thing to another. He's
Mm-hmm.
just not there. I think that's what the conversation was. It's never
Mm-hmm.
that I don't remember it or I didn't embrace it. It was that he's not that anymore. And it hurts me because so many people missing out on something so great because
Mm-hmm.
he's not that person anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't understand how you go from that to that. How do you go from being that the dad that everybody wants, just not.
Something happened.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Yeah.
Something probably majorly happened that he probably don't is not ready to talk about.
Yeah. Even when I got married, he called the day I got married. I called him to tell him what I would tell him I was getting married, and he was
Mm-hmm.
telling me about how him and my mom got together. How she made him be her boyfriend, made him get married.
Girl, that sound like your mama too.
He told me he pulled up in the front yard. She was wrestling with my uncle. She dusted the dust off it and got in the car. But before that, he said, but even before that, he said he was at the park talking to some other girl, and my mom saw him across the park, and she pulled up over there, and she got out the car and walked up to you. Don't talk to her. You my boyfriend now.
Wow.
Pick me up tomorrow so we can go on a date. And then when we pull up and pick her up for a date, that's what she doing in the front yard.
Girl,
He said, your
and
mom told me I was gonna be her boyfriend. Then she told me I was gonna be her husband. I said, well, you did it. He said, I sure did.
girl, that sound like your mama too.
He said you should have saw her fighting your uncle in the front yard.
Girl, my mama done told me
Ah,
bits and pieces. Like I know her and my dad met in high school or whatever.
mhm.
But and it's so weird, like when you just said that, I'm like, okay, now I see where you get certain personality traits. Cause when you said that, I'm like, it definitely come for your mama. You know what I mean? So, girl, your mama is a trip, but that's my girl though. That's my girl. But my mom, girl, I remember like way back in the day, she was describing how she met my dad, and she was like, I was shy back in the day. And I was like, you? And she was like, yeah, because like back in the day, girl, my mom, she like I don't know. I was a child. I don't fucking know. I was like preschool age, still at home. Goddamn it, watching Sesame Street and all of that. But from what I seen somebody who had a lot of spunk about themselves. Like my mom used to wake up early every morning, clean the house, get all six of her daughters, like do our hair, send us outside and shit. So when she said that she was shy, I was like, really? You was shy? You was, yeah, I was shy. And I'm like, oh, now that I'm grown, I'm like, no wonder why he was able to run so much game around you.
Oh yeah.
You was like a
Green.
Marietta.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Wore her
I
heart on
mean,
her
to be
sleeve.
honest, that's the story over here. I
Hmm.
I I to this day people be I see people they be like, girl, when you move back? I've been here for 12 years.
Girl,
I've been back for 12 years. It's just I don't know. Even some people say in school you never talked. Why you didn't talk? Because I didn't have nothing to say to y'all.
right.
I was on something totally different.
Girl, and then it's like, so that's how I feel about because we done went off on a little tangent, but it
Oh
was a
yeah.
good one.
But
But
your sisters will tell you how I used to roll.
girl, I'm gonna ask them too.
You see,
But
I giggle with that. But anywho,
let me play this TikTok where this lady she goes over the recent stuff that Crystal Shaw, Neo's soon to be ex-wife, what she said in this recent Instagram post, and we gonna see what y'all think about that. And I want to know what you think about this
mm-hmm,
too. Hold on,
mm-hmm.
press
Did
play.
Neo pull a Tristan Thompson and have a baby with another woman? Well, according to his wife, who recently filed for divorce, he did. Crystal filed for divorce earlier this week in Atlanta. She says there's no hope for reconciliation. The couple have 3 children together, but Crystal claims that Neo recently had a baby with another woman. A few days ago, Crystal posted this on her Instagram. It says, 8 years of lies and deception, 8 years of unknowingly sharing my life and husband with numerous of women who sell their bodies to him unprotected. Every last one of them. To say I'm heartbroken and disgusted is an understatement. To ask me to stay and accept it is absolutely insane, the mentality of a narcissist. I will no longer lie to the public or pretend that this is something it isn't. I choose me, I choose my happiness and health and my respect. I gained 3 beautiful children out of this, but nothing else but wasted years and heartache. She also asked people to stop sending her videos of him cheating, and she's no longer a victim. She's holding her head high. She also wishes Neo nothing but the best. Neo responded on Twitter saying that personal matters are not to be addressed in public forum. Let me know your thoughts down below. Did Neo pull a Tristan Thompson and have a baby with another?
Okay, what y'all think about that? Because I personally feel like Crystal. I feel like Neo is an asshole, and I feel like Crystal kind of signed herself up for that because it's
Mm-hmm.
alleged that she and Neo were dating while Neo was still involved with Mayetta. What you think, Sid?
Girl, hold on. Look, first and foremost, she wouldn't have had no problem if nobody wouldn't have caught them. She's embarrassed, and that's all it is. Because let me tell you something. These people be living out there, and they be having open relationships, but they have these things that, oh, you don't, as long as you don't say nothing, they don't say nothing. That's the thing. She, like she said, he been cheating on her. Okay, so you mad now that he got dirty dick when he been having dirty dick the whole time?
Mm-hmm. And
Come on now, please
said
stop.
he was with somebody else, and you didn't care. You married
Exactly.
him like
Now you care about now you want what you knew that you wasn't gonna get. No,
Like
it don't
I
work that
honestly,
way.
Mayetta,
That's
I
she's
feel for
embarrassed.
her, but Crystal, it's hard for me to feel for her, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, because I feel like she thought that she was one up in Mayetta when Neo got with her. Like the old women back in the day used to say, same way you get them is same way you lose
And
them.
we use them. That's the truth. And I don't think, to be honest with you, she one of them bees and I say bees because I can't stand a person that sit up and try to run your business when they get mad at you. No, If you gonna take it, take the L and do it quietly. And big dummy, if you wanted to hit him, or if you wished him nothing but the best, it wouldn't even be in no social media. He wouldn't even have to put. He made her, to me personally, he made her look like a damn fool by saying personal business shouldn't be posted on social media. Why did you have to put it out there like that? Why did you have to put it out there like that? You hurt, your butt hurt because you got embarrassed because people sending you stuff.
Yeah, because
You've
they
been knowing about
know,
this.
and it's not like celebrity life ain't like how it was in the '90s, where they can
No.
manipulate the tabloids and the media. You got people who even have YouTube, not fuck cable and all that shit. You got people who got YouTube channels. Like shout out to Tasha K, who can dig up the dirtiest of the dirt on celebrities. Okay,
Right.
so I low key do think she was just embarrassed, because I have heard even rich white women say, I've heard, I got a matter of fact, my son's godmother, y'all, is a millionaire. And she has told me more times than one that her husband had a mistress that he kept in on the side in an apartment, right? She never said nothing about it because he was the main provider. And like when he passed on, of course, he ended up leaving her his legacy, like his will and all that shit, right? But
Hmm.
she, the way, like I asked her, because she was so G about it, like, yeah, he had a woman on the side. And I was like, kind of, you wasn't offended by that, you weren't
Mm-mm.
hurt. And she was like, no, she said, I had to keep my mind on the prize and
Exactly.
keep my position and play my position. And she said, if I would have let him go, everything in his legacy or his will would have went on to that broad, and I wasn't having that. She
Hmm.
said, Candace, I had 3 sons by him.
Yeah.
So now it's to the point where Neo is allegedly trying to place a gag order on Crystal to keep her mouth shut or whatever, because he said that he lost $500,000 in deals and stuff. That's part of the reason why I feel like she did it too. Like she's speaking out as well because it's hindering him. But
No. I'm gonna tell you why she's doing it. What did Mayetta do when she spoke out? What she get? They got a reality TV show.
mm, see, you know more about that than I do, because again, I wasn't really paying attention to them at that time. So you can fill me in on this part.
Yes, that's the thing. Now she had a in a platform. She can have a she can get a and that's why he kind of nipping it in the bud. That's why I was like she's stupid because she could have played that card. She could have played that card easily, just like Mayetta did. That's why Mayetta, like that's what I'm saying. Her mindset is young, but she did it in a way where she strategically did what she did because having him still living with her, having her quote unquote him making her get her tubes tied and say that he was gonna get a vasectomy and didn't do that, all that gave her a storyline.
Mm-hmm.
But once that storyline was up, she was done. Like it was nothing else. It was nothing left. And so then that's when the drama and stuff started coming in because they would be little things that they would be nitpicky about to keep a storyline.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go back
So
and watch that. What is it? Hollywood Exes.
hmm
I'm gonna go back and watch it,
girl, you're gonna get hooked. I'm gonna tell you that now.
because yeah, I got to keep up with this, because it seems like they finna have a real dirty divorce. And
Yeah.
even though he trying to put her under a gag order, but I don't think Neo realizes, like, damn it, your reputation is already shot, because like you said, Sid, you known for having a dirty D, and you like you done played my
Hey.
Yetta, you know.
And there's plenty other people, but that's the thing. And another reason why she put it out there is so more people could come out, because everybody gonna
Mm-hmm.
come out the woodworks like they did last time, like they
Mm-hmm.
did with
Mm-hmm.
with anybody that they said, oh, they cheat. Look at Shaq. That
Mm-hmm.
girl, listen, it was one of the girls was even on the show, and then when her storyline was starting to freeze up, then all of a sudden she messed with Shaq, or she was
Yeah.
messing with Shaq. Like, come on now, y'all can't be that desperate. Come on, it is
Right.
not that serious. Like, do something on your own merit. But I mean, it's good TV. Now, don't get me wrong, because I do watch me a whole lot of ratchet
And
TV.
he recently came out. Shaq recently came out and admitted, he was like, "Yeah, I dogged my wife." What was his wife's name?
Shawnee.
Yeah, I dog. Yeah, he recently came out. He said everything that was fucked up about their marriage was his fault. He came out and said
Yeah.
all that.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's where I was getting at when I was talking about accountability. When you come down and you sit and really think about it, you can't blame nobody. Like you can say like, okay, this was a factor in why I made that decision, but that is not the 100% reason why you did whatever you had to do.
Right.
Once you get to accountability and you say, okay, this is why I did it, like in the back of my mind, I probably wanted to do it, but I just didn't know what to do, or blah, 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 blah. But when you get to that point, man, it's easier for you to move on to other stuff. But until then, like, why is she worried about, like, why is she putting stuff out there about Neo because of his situation that he got going on now or what? Because you married now. Deal
Mm-hmm.
with that. Because marriage is not easy. Well, it can
Been
be.
married him 2 months
It
after
can
he broke
be.
up with Mayetta.
Well, so that don't mean nothing. He
It
was been
do.
broke up. No, it don't because he been broke up with her. That's the thing. When a person
I ain't
that's
talking.
have
You
you
know,
have you
it
watched?
do mean something because it proves that one, he ain't shit. Two, she was desperate to the motherfucker. You wanted that bitch position so bad. The bitch again, you didn't have no standards for yourself, and you didn't wait. You just jumped right into it. You know, and when sometimes women do that to be vindictive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
well,
I got him now or whatever. And
yeah, and look at her now.
exactly,
So
that's why I said in a way I can't feel sorry for her because it's your karma.
yeah,
It's your karma.
yeah,
Just like you said with accountability, you have to accept this is what you chose for yourself.
yeah. So don't be putting it out there like, oh, he this and he that, he this and he that. He been this and that. He been this and that. Now that he did this and that to you, now it's a bad thing. No, you sit up and play. You first off, she did it wrong. She did it all the way wrong. Like she played her cards all the way wrong. She should have took a note. She should have took a page out of Mayetta's book and got a little bit of something out of it. But no,
Yeah,
she done really messed it up because if she gonna really have to have some good lawyers because
yeah, because Mayetta got a name for herself. I googled her damn name, and she don't. You know how some of these ex-wives they don't have no name for themselves, and they'll say, for example, Shawnee, the ex-wife of Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Her shit
mm-hmm.
don't say none of that. It say Mayetta Carter, and I think she wrote a book or something, and it says author, other shit like that. She don't say nothing with no connection with no damn Neo. I said that's how you know.
Well, yeah, but Shawnee got it. Let me tell you, that whole situation was something totally different. Now her shit was genius.
For example,
Okay,
yeah, like I get what you saying, but you looking too deep into it. Like for example,
okay.
I feel
You
like
know I'm gonna take
Beyonce.
it there.
I feel like Beyonce is a better example. If Beyonce and Jay Z ever divorce, Beyonce does not have to say because she has a name for herself. She doesn't have to say Beyonce knows Jay Z's ex-wife, trying to live off his name. You see what I'm saying?
True
Beyonce
that.
could say Beyonce, the singer, the actress, the book writer, the choreo. You know what I'm saying? Because she's
Yeah.
developed that for herself. You know, that's what I like about Mayetta. I feel like she took what could have been a con and made it her pro. You know, and
Okay.
now look at her now. She's married off to a man of no color or whatever. She getting in shape or whatever. She got her own thing going on. And look at this woman. That's how you know. I'm sorry, but when shit like this happens to people, like it happened to Neo and Crystal, I feel like that's karma because shit like that just don't happen out the blue. You
Yes,
see what
it
I'm saying?
does. That shit happen all the time.
It happens
All the
all the
time.
time, but it don't happen out the blue. It don't happen
That's
out
what,
the
and
blue.
that's where I'm going with that. I'm saying before anybody leaves a relationship, they already left the relationship alone before they even actually do it. Think about it. You mentally leave to personally, I feel like when you mentally leave a relationship, you done. So it could be you could get out of a relationship and then get married 2 months later. To me personally, that other shit didn't even matter because you
You
left a
talking
long
about
time
from
ago.
his point of view. I'm talking about her.
That's what
You
I'm
talking about from
saying.
his point of view. I'm saying, like your Bible said, you reap what you sow. You reap what
Yeah.
you sow. Nothing like that just happens out the blue. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It don't just happen. Like, how is it that this man moved on? If he had played his cards the right way and left the first relationship the right way or whatever, and he was on, like, you have to understand, people intentions don't always be good. Like she said in like when I researched the little case or whatever, she said that he told her over the phone that he wanted to be monogamous, right? So I know for a fact that he didn't handle that spiritually. You did not handle that the right way. Both of y'all going around here talking about y'all Christians, y'all didn't handle it the right way. He didn't leave her the right way. You dogged this woman. You made this woman burn her fallopian tubes, and not only that, but you never married her, and not you made her a single mother. You know, you
Why the
messed.
hell would you get your tubes pulled for
Listen,
somebody
just
you
hear
not
me
married
out.
to?
Just hear me out. Listen. He didn't
Okay.
leave that situation the right way. This is his karma and hers coming back on. Now his hasn't really come back on him yet because he's still dogging women. He ain't got his yet. Crystal, I feel like she got hers because you're now in the same position Mayetta is in. You don't. Mayetta only got 2 kids. You have 3, and the motherfucker don't even want to give you spousal support. He done recently came out and said, "Bitch, need to get a job and
She
stop
do.
making money off his name." That's wrong. He's wrong for that. He ain't got his karma yet, but I feel like where Crystal is wrong is because you hopped on that bandwagon too quick without a plan. Just like
Yeah.
you just said it. You said she didn't play her cards right. I'm confirming that she didn't play her cards right. Because
No, she didn't.
why is karma coming back on you this hard? You see what I'm saying? You don't
Yeah.
do no motherfucker like that and think you gonna get a different result. If he was a dog when you met him, the fuck you think he gonna be with you? Like he was a dog with the other woman, he gonna be a dog with you. You are no different. And I feel like she played herself because like
Girl,
a lot of
she didn't give a fuck if he was gonna
she
stay
did
or
because
not.
she the one who's speaking out about all he, don't bring nothing back about. She did. Y'all, she cared enough to keep posting on Instagram.
Yeah, to get
If
some
you didn't care,
publicity. Is where he met her is where he's gonna find her. If you saw her on social media and that's where y'all met, that's how y'all got connected. How do you think you gonna end it? It
I
goes
don't
the
think
same way.
I think you missing my point. My point is she's reaping what she sowed. She's getting
Yeah.
her karma for the you don't even a lot of people get on my nerves when it comes to this case because like I've been researching it for a couple of hours and a lot of people keep on saying, well, oh, Mayetta was not married to Neo, but in this new day and age, you motherfucker, and I ain't talking to you, Sin, I'm talking to the audience. You motherfuckers don't even cherish marriage. Y'all don't
No.
respect marriage like y'all used to. You see what I'm saying? So how is it that it's okay because Mayetta wasn't married? They still had some form of understanding and an agreement, and he
Mhm.
fucked it up. Okay, he didn't leave that situation the right way. And then with Crystal, I could look at Crystal and could tell. You know what I'm saying? Could tell you got with this motherfucker because you thought you was stepping on Mayetta like you a step up. You better than. You see what I'm saying? Not realizing that you signing yourself up for the same stuff she just came out of. And now look at you. This is your karma because you didn't enter into it the right way. You see what I'm saying? You can't expect God to bless no mess.
But
He
wasn't
not
she already
gonna do it.
pregnant when they got married?
Who?
Crystal.
I think she had just had the baby.
Yeah.
She was they said 2 months away from engaging. They didn't mention like they mentioned the kids, but they didn't mention like the timeline with the kids versus the marriage.
Yeah, because I think that um if I'm not mistaken, that was one of the things. Where the hell? I think that was one of the things that
He ain't shit on
Mayetta
the United
had an
States. That's
issue
all
with.
I know.
But I'm gonna tell you something. When you watch it, I want you to watch that show, and then I want you to come back, and then we have these conversations because you're gonna change your perspective because she a little
I'm
messy thing.
I'm like even with all that, I'm still about a person
I'm changing your
having integrity. Like,
perspective.
okay, this person that's just like a motherfucker coming up to me at one of my jobs, and I had to go with my jobs because I really personally ain't never been in no serious relationship. But that's just like somebody coming up to me and telling me all about the next person. Like, say somebody come up, and I'm just gonna make up some names. Keisha come up and tell me some shit about Tasha, Candace. Tasha's a dirty SOB. Watch her.
Mm-hmm.
She don't work right. She don't do this. She don't do that or whatever. So if I ever see Tasha get played by somebody else, I'm supposed to be okay with that because Tasha is a dirty motherfucker. No, I'm a person of integrity. If I see somebody get done wrong, I'm going to speak up. I probably, you know what I'm saying? That's just how I am. Like, I don't feel like just because somebody acts a certain way, they should get treated. You're like, yeah, I get it to a certain extent. Like, okay, you're messy, you probably gossip and all this, but he didn't have to go in and do that shit that
No,
he.
no, I'm saying when you watch it, your perspective is gonna change about how he saying like, oh, he manipulated her or whatever. You're gonna see her personality, and then on top of that, the story that she tell, and then her actions, they don't they don't match. They don't
Yeah,
correlate. Like you
I'm gonna
telling
buy
a story
I'm
like
gonna
you
buy
were the.
I hope it ain't more than one season, cause
It is, but I think
you
she only
blowing me away.
lasts a season and a half before they I think it's like a season and a half, maybe 2 seasons before they just be like, she can't be like, okay, have you ever watched Basketball Wives?
No, I've never seen. I didn't really get into reality
You gotta
shows.
get into the ratchet TV. I
That
I
shit,
can't.
like
I'm
my
sorry.
example of Ratchet TV was shout out. I'm here to say it. Tasha K channel, because Tasha K,
Yeah,
you know
I
Tasha K
understand.
be coming with that real deal.
She do, but I'm guarantee you, Tasha K don't watch some of that ratchet TV. Let me
Yeah,
tell
I
you something. I learned a lot about psyche watching them, like
hmm
watching how they move. They
yeah.
go, they go eat dinner with one person. They get all the tea from one person. They go back, talk shit about the other person, and then they go back like they friends with the other person. The other person go back, and you know what? I realized I never would have known, like I never really would have paid attention to it because I don't have friends like that. So I ain't even understand
Right.
that's reality. That's how people move. And so I had to, after fasting one year, I watched it and I saw that's when I started seeing it in a totally new light. I'm like, oh my God,
Girl,
that is just how people do. And
they
it's
be messy.
crazy.
They be messy. Like, I ain't
And
never
then
really had no friends like that either, because the way my patience is set up. Like, the minute I catch it, uh, the person is gone or whatever. I don't really hang around them that long. But they usually, like, you usually can tell with the first impression. Because messy people, it's like they cannot hide behind the sheep's clothing for long.
hmm
Like, you usually can tell within their mannerisms and stuff like that who they are. Like, they will definitely show you. You know.
yeah, especially like with me, the way that I am, if a person can't take is like, okay, so like with me, you could tell me something about me and I'll be like, okay, I hear you. That don't
Mm-hmm.
mean like I know it's I have a very good understanding of what advice is. Either I take it or I don't. Nonetheless, I will listen to it. I don't have to take
Mm-hmm.
it. Like if you feel like if a person feel like it's a waste of time to give advice, knowing that it's a possibility that they person won't take it, then that's probably not the friend for me. Cause I have to weigh all my options.
Mm-hmm.
And although somebody's perspective might be cool, like even if I talk to somebody, I don't expect everybody to take 100% of my advice. I don't, because it's always a different perspective. So that's the thing with me. I just can't. I don't understand how they hang. I don't know how they hang around each other and not call each other out. If like the way that they do, they just sit and watch each other talk about each other. Like say something. Say something. If you don't
Girl,
agree with it, say something.
my opinion on it is, I don't know. I be like, when it's shit like that, I usually be thinking like, okay, one of y'all got to be manipulating the other. The other one probably have something that you want or something that you trying to get close to. That's like, it could be more than just that. But again, I ain't the one to ask. Like, I've seen messy people fall out and come back together and be sitting up there wondering like, why is you back fucking with her? And they ain't trustworthy. You know what I mean? Because that's the
Yeah.
only thing I can think about. So I'm like, okay, it must be some form of manipulation. Like both of y'all need each other. Other than that, I
Yeah.
can't think of anything else.
Or that I mean, personally, I have people that I know they said or did some stuff, and I'll still kick it up with them and talk to them and talk, give advice if I have to or whatever.
Hmm.
But at the back of my mind, you hear I said people I talk to. I did not call them friends. In the
Hmm.
back of my mind, nope. That's you done show me who you was already, so I know how to move around you.
Girl,
I accept you for who you are, and I'm gonna move on from that.
I'm a show. Maybe it'll be something I get into when go to the gym because uh, they um they haven't from what I've looked at. Like I got into this show on Tubi, girl, called The Dirty D, and it's like a hood reality TV show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I like it because it's like drama filled. It really is. It's drama packed.
Yeah.
And
I'm
so,
telling you, between the Housewives of Atlanta, the Love and Hip Hop, um, Basketball Wives, girl, the Ratchet TV is 90 Day Fiance. Girl, the
see, I've been
ratchetness
hearing a
is
lot
just
about 90 Day
all.
Fiance too, but
Woo!
I done went to the gutter with the Dirty D, but they did a good job on that show. It's on Tubi. They
Girl,
were having
you ain't got to the gutter till you got to Shameless.
no, I'm telling you, you ain't seen the Dirty D yet, girl. The Dirty D, you got to you if you watch it, you gonna
Girl,
have to watch it on your phone because
I ain't
it's
gotta watch no movie about no. I ain't gotta watch.
you said what?
I ain't gotta watch no movie, no show about Dirty D. I know all about
No,
that.
it's called the Dirty D because it's Dirty Detroit, not. We
I
ain't talking
know.
about King. But girl, it's crazy, and the storyline, like for it to be an independent film, I mean an independent TV series, and be hood and be that well put together, they really do got something good going. I just wish they
Man,
would hurry up and get the second season out. But yeah, girl, I'm gonna have to buy a couple seasons of Hollywood Exes.
girl, you better not buy nothing. We'll talk.
You, you said what?
I said we'll talk. Don't buy nothing.
Damn.
What happened?
All right, now you got the hookup.
Mm,
I hope this food come out good, girl, because I'm sure freestyling.
yeah, you putting your heart and soul. You putting the toenails up in that suit,
Man,
girl.
I'm sure trying to stay dedicated. I be seeing your mama all the time making soups.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
she's
she
my
be doing
inspiration.
something. She always doing something. Crazy.
Girl,
Driving me crazy because I can't move. I don't move fast like she want me to move.
I be wondering if she come up with her own soup recipes
Yeah, she do.
because I be like, where the hell did you find that at? And she be naming them and shit, and I be like, where the fuck did you find that? I can't find that no
Yeah,
damn
she be making them up. She be mixing stuff up, and
shit. That's
then
what I said. I
whatever
said,
it tastes like, that's what she call it.
no, that's what she does.
Hmm.
Cause she showed what she came up with something the other day. I forgot what
I
she
know she
called
made like a zucchini sandwich or something. I don't know.
it. Girl,
She made some zucchini lasagna, and it was really good. It was really good.
yeah, I had some of that before. She made that years ago and gave me two helpings. Two
Hmm.
helpings. It was pretty good too. I fucked it up.
Cause I be skeptical because I ain't want to try new stuff like that.
Oh, you
And I had made a plate, and I was like looking like, you know. And then my dog asked her, she was like, "Oh, this is fire!" I'm like, you should try it, y'all. Like, I don't do well with peer pressure. That's not gonna make me try anything. But then
girl.
she left, and then I was like, well, I am a little hungry.
Oh no. She made some
It was
type
really
of,
good.
I don't know if it was a vegan lasagna or what, or keto lasagna. It was something, but it was fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think I asked for it. I think she took a picture and I was like, "Oh, that looked good." And she was like, "Come get you a plate."
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Quick
like,
to feed somebody. Yeah,
"Mm-hmm,
when I was little, she used to do all types of stuff. She used to make Kool-Aid that all the kids in the neighborhood like, oh, your mama made some Kool-Aid. They come
mm-hmm,
over and drink it. I'm like, yeah, I can't see. And I would be like, that would go back to, like you said, people don't be really like accepting what they have. Because I would be
mm-hmm."
like, how do y'all drink that stuff? It's so sweet. Like, to me, it was so sweet. So
Girl,
I didn't really like it. So they would
yeah,
come
I can't
smash
stand
it.
sweet drinks.
Yeah.
I gotta have it diluted a little. I can't stand it
And
too
they'd be
sweet.
like, oh, it's so good. I'm like, ugh, y'all can have it. Come, she made juice. She made juice. Come get it.
Like
I'm
even
like,
the Crystal
what?
Light packets, girl. Like the ones for single 16-ounce bottle of water.
Mm-hmm.
I have to half those because they be too damn sweet. Hmm.
Oh, girl.
But
Well,
yeah, I'm a go on and turn in for the night. Um, y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this Neo situation. I'm gonna go on and buy a couple seasons or get the hookup, and get the couple so I can watch it at the gym so I can catch up on all of this drama. I'm so late in the game, y'all.
girl, you better get on that ratchet TV. You tripping.
But y'all all have a good night. I'm
You
sitting up here
too.
eating celery. Sorry y'all for smacking in y'all ear. But y'all have a good night. Remember what I always tell y'all: be safe, be alert, be aware. Hit me up in the email if y'all hear something about the situation, or if you have a case that you want me to cover. And hit me up. My email is gonna always be in the description. But I'm gonna go ahead, get up off of here, and turn in for the night. And since you take care.
You too. I'll talk to
All
you
right.
later.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
Peace, y'all.